Ladies and gentlemen, please join me to welcome Prem Rawat.
Well, welcome everyone. And today, what I'd like to talk about is doubt. I'm sure there's some of you who are here for the very first time, and you may be saying, well, I came to hear about peace, not doubt. And it is true that what I talk about is peace. But you see, if peace was not within us, it was somewhere else, something else, away from us, then the approach would be totally different. Then the approach would be we should have maps, not have this, not talk about you or me, but very simply have these big maps and show you on the map, this is where peace is. And if you go out, and make a left and then make a right and go 10 miles this way, you will get there. And, here's the code that you need, and then you can have peace. The issue is, that's not the case. The reality is that the peace is inside of you. And so the issue becomes, if it is inside of us, if the peace is inside of us, then why is it that we don't feel it every day? Why is it that it remains so elusive? Look, imagine an 88 key board with 88 keys, not computer keyboard, music keyboard. And you are at home and you are entertaining your guests, and you get 3 or 4 people to come and take all the keys and hit them at the same time. Dunk! And everybody looks at you, goes, what was that? And you say, I just played Beethoven's Fifth Symphony for you. Did you like it? And is it technically true? Of course it is technically true. Because it's not like Beethoven had a few other keys that he used to pull out of his pocket and put them on the keyboard. No, that's how many keys there are, and you've just hit all of them, so somewhere in there is that incredible Beethoven's music. In fact, you could say you have played every single song there is, just about. But that's not true. Peace is inside of you. You have the desire to feel it, but what gets in the way? Doubt. Now, here's the interesting part. Do you have any idea of how much doubting you do in a day? Any idea? You doubt, and you doubt, and you doubt. Relationships are broken because of doubts. Families are destroyed because of doubt. People fight because of doubt. Children fail because of doubt. Doubt. I have a story I will tell you. Story of Akbar. One day, his favorite wife came up to him and said, you know, you favor the Birbal, this guy, Birbal, who was his courtier, his friend, his advisor, and you don't favor my brother. I mean, he's your relative. You should be favoring him, not Birbal. He's nobody. So Akbar said, yeah, I do favor Birbal because he's very witty, he's very smart, he's very intelligent. And the wife said, so is my brother. I want him appointed. So Akbar said, well, how is this going to happen? And she said very simply this. You go take a walk in the garden, call Birbal, tell him to come and fetch me, the wife. That you want your wife to be in the garden taking a walk, to come and fetch me. I will not come, and then you can fire Birbal. King said, all right. So the king is walking in the gardens, and he says, call Birbal. Birbal comes. Yes, Your Majesty, what can I do for you? He said, well, go fetch my wife. I would like her to be here while I'm taking my walks. And he looked at the emperor and he said, but Your Majesty, why me? I mean, you have so many servants, you can send one of them. And the king had a smirky smile on his face. I said, no, I chose you. I'm the emperor, I'm the king, I can choose anybody. So when Birbal saw this, he went, there's a problem. So he figured it out, what was going on. That his wife must have put him up to this. Of course, the wife had no intention of coming. So Birbal on his way, just before he got into the palace, stopped, got one of the guards, and he said, come here. I'm going to go inside. I'm going to be talking to the queen, and whilst I'm in the middle of talking to the queen, you come in and start whispering in my ear. And whilst you're whispering, make sure that you say these words loud enough so the queen can hear. And the words are, and she is very beautiful. So Birbal goes in and starts talking to the queen. You know, the emperor has wishes for you to join. And just then the guy came and started whispering in his ear. And then just as Birbal had instructed him, he said, and she's very beautiful. And Birbal said, Your Highness, you don't need to come, it's okay. And I'm going, I think I'm needed there. And Birbal left. 2 minutes later, the queen is with the king. And the king looked at the queen and said, see, I told you Birbal is very smart. You weren't going to come, were you? How did you do it? And Birbal said, sire, all I had to do was plant a little doubt that she could not resist. She had to know. We too, in our lives, doubt that peace is within us. We too doubt. There's a long list of doubters. Believe me, we doubt. Because there are people who doubt that they can have peace in this world. They doubt. Oh, it's not possible. They doubt. Some doubt that there is even a God. Some doubt the truth. Some doubt one thing, some doubt the other, but the end result is that we doubt, and we doubt, and we doubt, and we doubt, and our whole life is spent doubting, 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 doubting. I'm here to tell you, you have a choice. And the choice is either you can doubt or you can be clear. No doubt. The only way you can have no doubt is by knowing. Not conjecture. Not discussions. Light is very powerful. And no darkness can stand in front of it. But by merely repeating light, 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 darkness will not go away. The power of knowing, the power of understanding. So then what do you need to know? You need to know two things, first of all. You need to know how fragile you are. And you need to know how strong you are. I'm sure there are people sitting here going, wow. This sounds, so philosophical. But when you come across a bridge that you have never crossed before, that's exactly what you do, right? If you are going to sit on a chair you have never sat on, it doesn't look all that strong, you slowly sit on it. Not like clunk, because you know it'll break. So you slowly sit on it because you need to know two things, how fragile it is and how strong it is. Do you know how fragile you are? I'm sure there are people going, I'm not very fragile. I'm very strong. One word could destroy your life. That's how fragile you are. If the person you truly love one day turned to you, and Valentine's Day is coming. And the person who you love, if you ask them, do you love me? And they looked at you and said, just one word. No. It'd be like, oh my God. That's how fragile you are. That your existence Your existence hangs in the balance of this breath. 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 Did you know how you got started? You came out. The doctor wanted to know that you were breathing. And if you weren't, not going home in a cute cradle, but in a box. Do you know what the difference between those two is? Breath. Not a diploma. Not an astrologer's paper saying you're supposed to live a prosperous, healthy life for 70 years. If you're not breathing, when you come out, oops, everything is over. And do you know what's going to happen at the end? Even if you're in a hospital and they've got all these machinery hooked up to you, with EKG and this and this and this and this and this, and everything says you are dead. It's like flat. Flat, flat, everything is flat, 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 but you're breathing. Hey, something wrong with the machine. Nobody's going to say something wrong with this man. He should be dead and he's breathing. No, something wrong with the machine. Hit the machine. This is how fragile you are. So, how strong are you? How strong are you? Do you know that the materials that you are made of is what the universe is made of? Do you know that? That water, that ocean you look at, everybody likes, you see in these magazines, and they have these beautiful beaches and the ocean and the cruise line. People like to take cruise on the ocean, the ocean, the ocean, the ocean, the ocean, the ocean. You're 70% water. You didn't know that? You and the ocean are related. Very good contacts. This dust is very similar to the stuff that's out there. This bone, the teeth. That's how strong you are. Look at the picture here that I'm trying to paint. There was the same Akbar and Birbal. Akbar was holding court one day, and there was this poet, and he was going on, and he was writing poem for the king, and he would sing it to the king, and the king would get a little, like, wow, that's pretty good. Give him some more money, and the guy, he kept just singing his praises. Oh, emperor, you are, more beautiful than the sun, more beautiful than the moon. You have the biggest empire. You have the biggest this. You have the biggest that. And this is going on, and the courtiers are like, yay, yay, and the king is throwing money at him, and he's singing these beautiful poems for the king, and it keeps on going like that, and all of a sudden, the guy is carried away, and he blabs out, and you're greater than God. And the king felt very uncomfortable. The emperor felt very uncomfortable with that. And he looked at all the courtiers, and they were like, oh, goodness, now what's going to happen? And so the king said to his courtiers, do you know what he just sang? That I am greater than God? And everybody was dead quiet. King turns to Birbal and he said, Birbal, did you hear what he just sang? I'm greater than God? Is that true? So now he's in a dilemma. If he says yes, everybody will know that Birbal is lying. If he says no, the king could get very upset. So Birbal said, Sire, I don't know if you are greater than God or not. But there is one thing you can do that God cannot do. And everybody was like, what is it that Akbar can do that God cannot do? Akbar said, tell us, explain. What is it? And he said, Sire, if you want it, you can take any citizen of your country and banish them. And they would leave your empire and go in some other kingdom. But if God wanted to banish somebody, where would they go? The picture that I'm trying to paint is that we think is so far from us resides within us. But there is a doubt. Really? God dwells in our heart, not in some temple, not in some institution, not in some physical building, not doubt. Doubt. One day, I was driving on this road in India, and there's a very big temple there. So I was driving, and there was a little bit of traffic, so I slowed down, and I see that the devotees are going in, and then they're coming back out. So going in, I could understand. They're going to go see God. Coming back out? Why are they coming back out? I mean, really. My question to you is, if you were going somewhere, you went into a building and you saw God, and there was God, you would just go, nice seeing you, and leave? I wouldn't. I don't care if I've got the most important appointment. I don't care if I've got a flight to catch. I mean, if there's God, that's that. See, even there's an element of, well, yes, there's God, but not really. So it's one of those things, yes, but not really. And so it goes. The story just keeps on going. One doubt after another doubt, after another doubt, after another doubt. Will you be able to meet someone in your life, in this lifetime, that could show you, point to you, that space inside of you where you could feel peace? No. Doubt. People come to me. I can see it in their faces. I say, you know what? Peace is inside of you. And you can feel it. And you can be in peace in this lifetime. You can be satisfied in this lifetime. Doubt? No, how can that be? I've been told it takes 17 lifetimes. I've lost count. I mean, I don't even know which one this is. Is it first, second, third, fourth? I mean, you're going to have to start again and then go, but you won't remember. So which one is it? Doubt, 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 doubt. So you see, the first thing that has to happen is you have to get rid of the doubt. And you cannot get rid of the doubt. Why? Because doubt is not an element in itself. It is just an absence of clarity. When there is knowing, doubt goes automatically. When there is no knowing, when there is ignorance, doubt comes. How simple is that principle? That you don't actually remove darkness. All you have to do is bring in the light. And the darkness disappears all by itself. If I told you that it's very simple, the process of knowing is very simple, would you believe me? Doubt. How can it be so simple? How can it be so simple? I mean, there are sadhus and, I don't even look like a sadhu. Maybe a few more years and my hair will be completely gray. But here I am. I am who I am. And I have never fit into people's expectation of who I am. Never. Why? Because when I was a young kid, people used to say, he's not even talking. How can a young boy like this be saying these things? They have a tape recorder hooked up. Tape recorder, he's just lip syncing. People would come to me and ask me these questions, and I say, you're asking a teenager these questions. Don't you know? Don't you know? Don't you know that there is a truth? Don't you know that there is a peace? Don't you know that there is a joy? Don't you know that there is a happiness? That is the same for everyone. What if I told you? What if I told you that circumstances have nothing to do with hope? Would you believe me? Doubt. What if I told you that circumstances have nothing to do with being happy? Would you believe me? Because just a few weeks ago, I was in jail. I say this to people, they go, really? I was just, a few days ago, I was in Hawaii talking to a bunch of people, and I said, yeah, I was in jail, and they went, no, really not? Yes, I was in jail. I had been invited to speak. There are some inmates who have been listening to my message. So they wanted to see me and they wanted to talk to me, so I went. And there they are. They're in a prison. They're in a prison. Now, that's a pretty bad place to be. But do you know that they felt hope? That they felt joy? That in fact one of them said, Maraji, I stopped smiling. I've been in prison most of my life. I started getting into drugs. I was in prison. And I just had no reason to smile. And then I heard what you were talking about, and now I smile. And it was, for me, a wonderful thing. And of course, the whole event there, which was approximately 2 hours, was one of the most touching events. And it wasn't a touching event because, oh, look at, these people are incarcerated, they're in prison, and so on and so forth. But it reminded me that peace is not circumstantial. It is not tied to circumstances. That true joy is not tied to circumstances. Because isn't that what we work so hard to improve? And we think if our circumstances improve, if our situation improves, then we will be able to be happy. But for these people, one of the people, and he's now out of prison, but he had been in prison on and off for 25 years. And in that 25 years, he had only been out of prison for 3 months. And since he has been listening, feeling, removing that doubt, he has found strength. He has found reality. And for the first time in his life, he's out of prison for more than 3 years. I'm sure there are people in here going, well, why, we're not prisoners. Aren't you? Listen, those prisoners have one thing going for them. It's called probation. If you're on good behavior, you may just get probation. With the prison system you are in, there is no probation. There is no probation. You judge yourself of all the things that you do not have. I don't have that, 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 I don't have that. You keep God handy so you can keep praying. Please, promotion. I was talking to somebody today, and I was saying about the feng shui of these buildings. And then I was thinking, and he was telling me how much money people spend getting the feng shui right, getting the feng shui right, getting the feng shui right. And I say, do you even think about your real feng shui? What direction is your life facing? What direction is your life facing? On one hand, it is obvious what's going to happen to all of you, me, everybody on the face of this earth. It's not a pleasant topic, but we have to go. When is it going to happen? Actually, nobody knows. Wonderful plan. It really is a wonderful plan, because either it can drive us crazy, or it can make us sane. Crazy? Oh, I don't know when I'm here for, don't worry about it. I'll live for 70 years. My mother lived for 84. My father lived for 94. And I am sure no problem as you get run over by a truck. Not even make 24. Nobody knows. Law of averages doesn't work. Nothing seems to work. You can pray for it, and it doesn't work. You don't pray for it, that doesn't work. So much ego. Wrong strength. That's not your strength. That's not your strength. I am so-and-so. I have done this. I have done this. I have done this. I have done this. I accomplished this. I have so-and-so is my friend, and I can do this. And don't do it. Somebody will be better than you. Somebody will be better than you. You ran the fastest mile, somebody will beat you. Absolutely. So, your true strength is in knowing, is in understanding. Your true strength is in clarity. Your true strength is being in that peace that is when you shine. You put on makeup. Sooner or later, people do, Men don't have to put on makeup, but they shave. Close. It's a huge ritual, because you want to look good. You want to look good? Then be in peace. Be in peace and you will look more beautiful. People want to look young. Nobody wants to be old these days. This is the big thing. Nobody wants to be old. Even the people who are old, they want to look very young. And especially in America, they will even wear those very strange pants, very low slung. They'll have a t-shirt. Of course, they can't see anything, can't hear anything. And they have these things, and then they'll bury that in your canal so nobody will know you can't hear. We all want to look young, except the young ones. They want to look old. They do. They do. I mean, my grandson just turned 2. Just turned 2. And he comes to me yesterday. I mean, he can talk. He can really talk. And he comes to me yesterday. And he looks at my watch and he goes, "Maraji, watch." And I said, "Do you want a watch?" And he goes, "Okay." He's already got an iPad. That's what I gave him for his birthday, an iPad. And he plays with it. To him, he's going to grow up. He has no problem with the iPad, iPhone. This will be all just normal, routine things for him. But for you, for all of us, our beauty is in that contentment. We need to be free. Doubt? We're already free. We are free people. No. From morning till evening. And can you stop it? I saw coming here, I saw this billboard said, "Are you always tired?" It was like a little drink. "Are you always tired? Take this and whatever." You're tired because you are. That's why you're tired. Because you have not rested. You know what it is? It's called restless. Human being becomes restless. Do you know what restless means? No rest. Do you know how to rest? Do you? Or from morning to evening, here it comes. And God forbid you woke up even for just 2 minutes at night. Doom, tomorrow. Tomorrow. And God forbid you left your phone ringer on and you have received an SMS at 4 o'clock in the morning. And it's sitting there. Who is it? Who is it? maybe it's important. 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock in the morning. Maybe you should get up. You should get up. Look at it. Maybe it's an important 4 o'clock in the morning. Everybody that's important to you is lying in your room, from your great-grandfather to everybody else. You can see they're all okay. They're all snoring. And I'm just putting it this way, and it sounds humorous, but this is what Kabir said a long time ago, that this thing, sometimes it wants to ride a horse. Sometimes why? But here we are. Sometimes the choice of color is green. And sometimes it's blue. And sometimes it's white. Tick, 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 tick. Day in, day out. How will I make more money? More money. More money. More money. More money. More money. So you're free. No, you're not. Even if you find yourself free for 5 seconds, this thing will make sure. What? Why are you here? At home? Need to get to office. Got to get those jobs done. Got to get that file filed. Thinking, office, office, office. Get to office? Got to get home. Got to get home. Got to get home. Sit in front of the TV, relax, watch a little TV, have a little food. You're free, right? So in this prison, you're looking for what? Peace. In this insane asylum, you're looking for sanity? Sanity? Then there are, of course, the pundits of this world who tell us how we should be, what we should wear, what is the fashion, what is the way it should be, how you should be, how you shouldn't be, what is right, what is appropriate, what is not appropriate. And what do you want to do? You want to follow. Because you want to be a good little soldier who just marches along with everybody. Everybody has a disease, and there's no cure for this disease. And you know what the disease is? Wanting to be normal. Why do you want to be normal? What is normal? I'll tell you what your normal is, just like everyone else. I don't want to be noticed. I don't want to be standing out. Then why do you put on makeup? Use camouflage. Green, black, military uniform, so you can just blend in. You can just go from bush to bush and just disappear. So this is the disease when somebody says, everybody ignores me. And it's also a disease when people say, people think I'm different. So you cannot be different and you cannot be the same. So you become a ping pong, ping pong, ping pong, ping pong, and then you go, is there a God? Doubt. Maybe not. People go, God, if you're really there, show yourself to me. And that's what God does, day and night. But you got your eyes closed. You got your eyes closed. And I say to you, open your eyes. Open your eyes. I say to you, find your strength. I say to you, find that clarity in your life. Because without that, you're not going far, my friend. Not far at all. Not far at all. You have been given the gift of gifts that is unimaginable. Unimaginable. But you do not know. If I say to you that the greatest gift you could have is the gift of this breath, would you believe me? Or a little doubt. But it is true. It is the gift of gifts. And so abundantly given without you ever having to pray. Don't you find that interesting? I mean, I know there are people who go to holy places and they ask for children and they ask for shoes and they ask for wives and they ask for girlfriends and they ask for husbands and they ask for boyfriends and they ask for men and they ask for whatever. God knows what else they all ask for. And nobody goes that says, just, keep giving that air, please. I mean, that breath coming in and out, please keep that happening. Nobody does that. It's too common. But what if that was the blessing? Because so far that's coming. You can think, you can see, you can know, you can understand, you are. And without that blessing, what is it? Just a trick of a magician's hand. Have you seen a magician? They perform tricks. They can make things disappear. You know how they do that? You know what is a requirement for a magician's trick? Distraction. They have to distract you. So you're looking here whilst they're hiding here. Distraction. Got distracted. Instead of searching for peace, searched for everything else. Instead of searching for clarity, argument. People argue. And people argue and I say to them, how do you know this? I read it. Read what? Somebody wrote something. It got printed. If it's written in print, that's it. No mistake. Truth. You doubt. Truth. You doubt. Lies, you have no problem with. If somebody came to you and said, you have just won $10 million, your reaction is going to be, really? You're kidding. But I didn't even buy a lottery ticket. If somebody comes to you and says, you have a flat tire on your car. Oh, okay. Not again, but okay. No doubt, no doubt. Like, wait a minute, I don't even own a car. How can this be? This is no way to live. You want to live? Then live free. Live in that beauty. Live in that existence that you should have. People say, oh yeah, but I'm married. I'm just a married person. I am no holy person, who lives in a particular place and who has renounced everything. They have renounced nothing. Because here, same thoughts. It is not this you need to renounce, it is those that doubt that you need to renounce. And the day you renounce that doubt, the day you renounce that unclarity, the day you renounce the ignorance, then that is the day you are enlightened. Truly enlightened. Whether you have read one holy scripture or not, it doesn't really matter. Because that's the essence of it. That is the essence of it. The address of that you are looking for is you. You. Why do you look there and there and there when you should be looking here? In the heart. In the heart are your answers, your joy, your fulfillment, your reality. It'll never change. Never, ever, never, ever, never. Has everything else changed? Of course. But one thing that has never changed in the realm of human beings is that peace is inside of us. So people have a million questions, and nobody asks the obvious one. The obvious one. The obvious one. The question that is so obvious is, if you find somebody who can help you feel that feeling inside of you, then Ask them this: can you help me feel that feeling of peace? Not, and so what do you think about, such and such a chapter on such and such page, and could you define that? And they're still defining it. I mean, can you imagine? They're still defining it. God said this, and everywhere you go in the world, the holy people are defining they're trying to explain to you what God said. Before Jivan could speak so well, all he would go is wah, and his mother knew what he wanted. She didn't actually reach into her purse, pull out a book, and went, okay, what kind of wah is this? Or call, let me record this wah. Okay, Javen, say wah again. And here's the wah. What do you think this wah means? She knows. How did that happen? If a mother can understand her baby without interpretation, then I am sure that human beings can understand what God meant without interpretation. Because that's even more coded. Wah. I mean, wah. To me, it kind of sounds the same. Wah, 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 wah. But there's subtle variations of that wah. Some is wah and some is wah. Life is not taking all 88 keys and pressing them together at the same time and saying there is a beautiful symphony. It's not. Sometimes it is just one key at a time. But you have to watch the cadence and you have to watch the sequence. That's the way it is. So, peace. Good news is, it's here within you. You search for it because you doubt. What do you doubt? That it's in you. That's why you search outside. What do? I help people stop doubting. Stop doubting. Stop doubting. It really is within you. And people go, really? That's why, even though these people who are incarcerated are in the prison, they saw hope. They feel hope. They smile. I didn't give them a secret how to break out of prison, but I showed them a secret through just this message, how to be free. They have found a freedom within them. We, as human beings, our humility is our strength. Our sweetness is our forte. When we exercise these, we truly, truly, truly become strong. Confusion is not our forte. It is okay to ask questions. So far you get the answers. Those who keep asking the questions but never get to the answers, it's like a monkey that does a lot of things during the day, but I wonder if it actually means anything. I mean, it'll sit there, it'll scratch its head, it'll go over there, it'll look over there, maybe monkey even has a better agenda than we do. Sometimes it seems like that. But in this life, yes, the possibility is there, always, always. Never too late, never too early, always. So, in this life, be content. Know that joy is not that far away. It is the doubt that stands in the way. Thank you very much, and good night. Thank you.